Hi, I'm Amy O'Donnell, Director of Communications with Texas Alliance for Life, and I'm super excited to be standing here at Casa Chapala with TAL board member Claire Colwell. Claire, thank you for joining us for this week's update. For those of you who don't know Claire, she is an abortion survivor, and she's going to share a little bit about that today. And today, actually, we're recording this video on Tuesday of this week. I know you guys are seeing it on Friday, but I'm very excited today because it's her book release date. And so, Claire, can you just share with our viewers who are watching today a little bit more about your story and about your book and the vision behind it?
Yes, it's such an exciting day. I am adopted and grew up in a Christian home. Always knew that I was wanted, chosen, and loved, but met my birth mother when I was 21 years old and found out the most shocking news of my life that I had survived the abortion procedure that successfully took the life of my twin. And in that moment, I had not thought much about abortion before, had not thought about the woman who experienced abortion or the baby who was aborted, like me, like my twin. And my eyes were open to the truth in that room as I sat face to face with my birth mother as she shared this news with me. And so that's what my book is about. I put our story in here, and I hope that it is a hopeful and redemptive message for the people that read it, but also that your eyes will be open to the truth and that you will act on that truth as you be the hands and feet of Jesus to those who experience unplanned pregnancies and those who regret their abortions. And so pick it up. There is an incredible story about Texas Alliance for Life and Joe Poyman. The first time I ever testified on a state level was HB2 when Joe Poyman brought me in, and I, shaking and all, I got up there and shared my story. My daughter was, I think, like 6 months old, and I had her with me, and it was incredible. I had an up close look at just Texas legislature and how Texas Alliance for Life is making an impact. And so I'm so grateful for the part Texas Alliance for Life has played in this book too. And so you'll read all about it when you pick up Survivor. So thank you for allowing me to share.
Well, absolutely. And I don't think we're going to let you quite off the hook yet. I want to circle back to something that you shared, that you knew you were wanted, chosen, and loved. And I don't want to give away much that's in the book, but I would love for you to share with those listening today, what was it about your amazing adoptive parents that gave you that foundation, and how did they kind of show you that? And then how did that help you in that moment when you got the news that you got from your birth mother?
I don't know if there's anything that can prepare you for the moment you find out that you were as unwanted, rejected, and aborted like I was. But if there is anything, it is the love of your mom and dad, knowing that you have a sense of belonging, not only in your family, but in who Christ says you are. And so those were things that were spoken over me as a child, not just in from my parents, in a sense of I was wanted and chosen and loved by my parents, which I was, and I knew that. But it was because of God and how He saw me that they could see me that way. And so in that moment, as I sat face to face with my birth mother, I knew that those things were still true about me because my parents had told me all my life, and because I knew who I was in Christ. And so it was incredible as I was sitting face to face with my birth mother, in the most devastating moment of probably I would ever face. I knew that that was true about me, but I also knew it was true about her.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing about how you were wanted and chosen and loved, and you knew that, and you knew that in that moment, and you knew that that was true for you, and you knew that was true for your birth mother. And I imagine in that moment that you felt a lot of conflicting feelings and had a lot of conflicting thoughts. One of the things that you shared tonight with those who were at your book signing was how forgiveness was one of the emotions in your mind and in your heart at that moment, and how your amazing parents' foundation that they laid for you even kind of set the stage for you to have a forgiveness mindset. And I just wondered if there's anything about that you might want to share with those watching today as we wrap up this interview.
Forgiveness is one of the main threads throughout this book, because I had a choice to make in that moment where I met my birth mother for the first time, and she shared such difficult news with me. But because of how I was raised, again, I knew that Christ had forgiven her and that he wanted to redeem and restore, and that choosing to forgive my birth mother was something that I could do because Christ had forgiven me for so many things. And I knew that that would begin our healing journey together. And it's been incredible as I have woken up every single day and I've chosen to forgive her, and I've told her I forgive her, and I've told her God forgives her. She has since just a few years ago come to know the Lord, and she has accepted his forgiveness for her. And she no longer sees me as the reminder of what happened to her and what was done to her, but our story is now a reminder of what God has done in our life and how he redeems and restores. And so it's been incredible, and I've been honored and just truly humbled to be able to share my story in Survivor, and also be able to make an impact just through serving with Texas Alliance for Life. And I'm so thankful for all that Texas Alliance for Life is doing.
This is not my first time hearing your story, but I'm always impacted by it. It's an honor to know you. It's an honor to have worked with you in this pro-life arena. And it's really amazing to me that not only are you a survivor, as this book title so perfectly says, but you're also an overcomer, and you're a forgiver, and you're a minister. And while I can't imagine what it's like to have walked the road that you've walked, and to hear that news and to process it, I do think it's a beautiful redemption story to see how God is using you to touch lives, my life, other lives, but your birth mother's life, and just the redemption that she's getting to experience through your love and through your grace and forgiveness, which is just an extension of God's as shown through you. And so I just want to encourage you all today to get this book. You can order it on Amazon. You can look it up online. There's multiple ways and places that you can get it. It's in bookstores, from my understanding.
The Austin bookstores, I checked today. It is there. I've seen it in Dallas Barnes and Noble bookstores, and so yeah, go find it. It's anywhere books are sold.
Which is super exciting. So get one for you, get one to share with another person. And I want to encourage you to read it, because I truly believe it will bless and impact your life. And there's so much more to the story that we didn't even scratch the surface of today. And so go out and buy one, and make sure that you let Claire know in the various ways through reviews and whatnot what you thought about her book and about her story. Thank you again for tuning in to this TAL Weekly Update. And just for those of you who would like us to make it as simple as possible to find where to get a copy of the book, we have that in our description for today's update as we're sharing it. Just look up there in the description wording, and you'll find a link to click on and go ahead and buy her book. So thank you again for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you again next week.